Hey guys, this is Tauna, and holy cow, I am so excited. It has been a morning for me. I want to say a huge shout out and thanks to my wife for looking after the kids this morning so I could do this. So we have a whole bunch of Marvel information for the upcoming Secret Lairs and beyond that as well. As you can see, we've got Laura here, which is really cool. We've got Sam, we've got Cap, and we've got Iron Man. So these are kind of showing a few different things from the different Secret Lairs that are going to be coming. So this is a collaboration that's going to be taking place over multiple years, which you already knew, and this is just the start. So they've so far announced the Secret Lair, and that's it, except for a little bit of a tidbit for next year. So there's a Secret Lair coming out November the 4th, so, a couple weeks time. And this is going to be 5 different drops that will each focus on a different Marvel hero. So it's a Marvel character, which is a legendary creature, so you can technically use them as commander if you want. And then also on the kind of sides of them, some reprints to kind of be in flavor with them too. All going to be a part of a big Marvel super drop. There's the new hero type on them that's going to be used in the main sets. A few things going to point to it very much being comic inspired, which I'll talk about when I get to the cards and stuff, rather than MCU, though obviously the modern comics have kind of started lining up with the MCU more. So that's kind of just something to kind of keep in mind there. And it's going to be a limited run, which really, really sucks. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this, which is going to be very disappointing. Especially because it wasn't much warning, right? Like, this is 2 weeks warning. I have to figure out what I can do about this. I am very, very excited though. So let's go into it. And you'll notice that these are lining up with the leaks that happened. So a couple of weeks ago, there were some leaks, and these are lining up with those. So the first one here is Captain America, First Avenger. He's a Jeskai commander that essentially throws equipment. You can pay 3, unattach an equipment to him, and he's going to deal damage equal to its mana value to divide by 1, 2, or 3 targets. He's then got the ability to catch, which is going to be when he goes into combat, you're going to reattach, or you can reattach 1 target equipment to him. So he's all about, throwing your equipments and stuff. And as you'll see, all of the stuff that got reprinted alongside them fits into their decks, as well as makes it so that they can, be used within those colors as well, right? So we've got Sagada's Aid over here, which switches over to Captain America's Aid. And you can see, the comic book version of Falcon. So making it so that you can, cast its auras and equipments with Flash. We've got Flawless Maneuver, we've got Into the Trenches, and then we've got Shield of War and Peace. You can see up here the comic book version of Falcon, and then Black Widow there. We've got Namor, which, that's obviously not MCU. Namor's that's not the MCU version of Namor. Also, I've got reflection on my head and stuff. We've got Bucky here, like Bucky from the comics too, Human Torch, and I have no idea who that other one is besides a different. So this is the original Human Torch, not the one from the Fantastic Four. That's the Human Torch who's an android, similar to like Vision kind of stuff. And I believe in the comics, Vision was based off of him. And then we got Shield of War and Peace instead of Sword of War and Peace. And God, that's so good. Oh, it's so good. I love it so much. Next up, we got Black Panther, Wakandan King. So this Black Panther here is based around obviously Wakandan and being the king there. And like the land and like utilizing the vibranium from them. So when he enters or another creature enters, you're going to put a +1/+1 counter on target land you control. And then you can pay 3 to move all counters from a land onto a target creature. So there's a couple different ways this is going to be really useful, especially if you can, animate lands. So just because they have +1s on the lands and, that's useless, doesn't mean you can't just animate those lands and turn them into creatures to throw at people. So I've got Wakandan Skyscraper up here, a reprint of Khan's Bastion, Heroic Intervention. So this is one of the things that's showing this is not MCU. So this is Claw. Claw was within the first Black Panther movie. However, he was, and within, I think it was Avengers in Age of Ultron. But this is very much the comic book version of Claw with his like sonic powers and stuff like that. Not Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic as in, sound. We've got Bass Blessing here. And then we've also got over here Bashenga as a Secure the Waste. So Bass Blessing is a reprint of Primal Vigor, and Secure the Waste being just a, just a recolor of it. Recolor? Wow, I'm blanking out. Reprint, new art, etc. And then we also have a warrior token to go alongside this, obviously for the Secure the Waste too. We've got Wolverine Best There Is, which is probably, no, this is not my favorite. We haven't even got to my favorite yet. This is probably my second favorite. So Wolverine Best There Is, so he's going to double all damage he would be dealt. That means he works with fight spells, bite spells. He works just in combat as well. He also, each time, if he dealt damage to a creature at the beginning of each end step, you're going to put a +1/+1 onto him. So if you've got instant fight spells, then you could get this each turn, right? You can also pay 1 and a green to regenerate him. So he comes with Adamantium Bonding Tank. This is, the reprint there is just crazy. Like, that's a $35 card. They chose really, really great reprints for all of these, right? Like, I think the Black Panther one's probably the lowest one, but all of them. Adamantium Bonding Tank, really great. Rhythm of the Wild here. Wolverine out there with his true family, his wolves and stuff. We've got Rite of Passage with Laura, and then we've got Berserk as well. So many great things. And the great thing about Berserk is that you can then regenerate on top of it. Right? Like you can regenerate after you berserk. So that way when he gets destroyed, he just comes back. It's so great. We've got Iron Man, Titan of Innovation. So he's got flying, haste. Whenever he attacks, create a treasure, and then you can sacrifice a non-creature artifact. If you do, search your library for an artifact with mana value of it +1, and then put it onto the battlefield. So if you don't have your Soul Ring out, technically you could sack the treasure first turn, bring out your Soul Ring. So we've got an actual treasure token to go alongside it too. We've got Galvanic Blast, we've got Commander's Plate, we've got Soul Ring, and then we've got Inventor's Fair. Inventor's Fair obviously being the best reprint here, besides, why did I say best reprint? Commander's Plate's obviously the best reprint. I love it all. It's so great. This is very much the comic book, like the Iron... What do they call it? Iron Legion? I think he calls them the Iron Legion. I've also got the Soul Ring based around the Arc Reactor within his chest. Inventor's Fair being Stark Expo. It suits so well. It's amazing. And then finally, we've got a new one. So Storm is the only one that didn't leak from the previous ones. And as soon as I saw her, I'm so happy. It's just so flavorful for her too. So she's got Flying Vigilance. And then whenever she deals combat damage to a player, the next instant or sorcery you cast this turn has Storm. Giving Storm. Oh, it's so great. So we've got Lightning Bolt to go alongside her. Lightning Bolt actually is so much more useful now, right? Like there's so many commanders that are really strong that only have up to like 3 health. Lightning Bolt them. We've got Storm's Will instead of Jessica's Will. They actually it's almost the same art as well, right? Like that's the Jessica's Will art, except they replace Storm with it and it just works so insanely well. We've got Ice Storm here. This hasn't been reprinted since I think it was Unlimited. That hasn't been reprinted since Unlimited. But if you have a look in the back here, you can actually see Iceman. You can see Forge. You can see Jean Grey, Colossus, and then Archangel over here too, and then Bishop. So you can see like the X-Men in the background here as as Storm is just destroying lands. And then we've got Aurora Borealis. Well, I cannot pronounce that properly, as a reprint here of Metamorphose. Yeah. So this one here is the one with the most value, I think. I don't know, the Ozolith is really great. Like, there's so many great reprints. So a couple other things, if you are out there at New York Comic Con, so these were all announced at New York Comic Con, you can get the Wolverine and Storm comic book cover versions of them, and these are really cool too. I'm not a huge fan of the whole From the Ashes thing. That's a current kind of storyline that's going on in the comics. I'm not a huge fan of the fact that they put that up there. I would prefer if they just had, you know, the big Wolverine and then have like this part here being the actual card name, because this is just, that's just showing Wolverine, right? But the card's not called Wolverine, it's called Wolverine Best There Is. And then there's also a special promo for Counterspell, which is obviously Doctor Strange there. If you are to purchase the Super Drop, then as long as you spend over $199 on these Secret Lairs, you can get this Earth's Mightiest Emblem, a reprint of Arcane Signet for obviously the Avengers Tower there. We also have, you know, the details of how much they're going to cost. They're going to cost $40 each for the regular versions. That is more expensive than the previous ones. I think it's $10 more than the previous ones. Admittedly, there is a lot of value in there, right? Like, so like having a look at the Storm one, for example, you're getting way more than $40 cards. Keep in mind the Ice Storm obviously is like, you know, mostly expensive just because it hasn't been reprinted in ages, but Jessica's Will is easily amazing. And then $50 for the foil versions again. And then they also announced this, which we'll talk about in a second. Next year's set, the 2025 set, is going to be Spider-Man. It is not just going to be general Marvel. So they announced that it was going to be a Marvel set, but they didn't say what exactly it was going to be. We're looking at Spider-Man apparently for this. So Spider-Man slings cards from across the Spider-Verse into your favorite decks. Now, it doesn't say what it's going to be legal in. Doesn't say. It is going to be a full tentpole set, so it is not going to be like just Commander set or anything. It is going to be a full kind of set. I guess like it could be like a Commander set. I guess like a Commander Masters set, but like Modern Horizons 3 was, but we don't know. It could be just a modern legal set, which I'm guessing it most likely will be modern legal, similar to like the Lord of the Rings. So this is like, if you think about it, it's more like the Lord of the Rings kind of thing. So yeah, I'd love to hear from you guys as to what you think. This is all the stuff that was announced today. I am so incredibly hyped, and I know I've said that a million times, and I apologize. One thing I put a poll up on my community channel just then was, how much do you guys know about Marvel lore? And do you want to know more, or do you just not care or anything like that? Let me know. I would love to kind of, you know, cover this kind of stuff. I love Marvel. So yeah, I hope you guys had a great day, and make sure you subscribe as well. I'm going to be covering everything when it comes out. Like, you guys are watching this video literally like 15 minutes after all these announcements. So you're getting the best kind of coverage for this kind of stuff. So yeah, make sure you subscribe so that way you can get this best coverage. Have a great day and goodbye.